name's Alison McBain, and my story is On the Fly. It was 10:50 in the morning, and he was squinting through one eye as he diced vegetables. The other eye was swollen shut. Jorge had just a vague recollection of the 5th, 6th bar last night after work and someone talking smack. The fat ass kept on calling him chef as they played a game of pool. Every time Jorge had knocked a ball in, the turd had said, "Nice shot, chef." Until 8-ball went in and the man wouldn't shake his hand. "Don't want to get salmonella," he had laughed to his white friends. That's when Jorge had swung at him and missed, getting an eye full of big, meaty fist instead. It all went a little hazy after that, but he remembered the looks he had gotten on the subway ride home. But here he was, on time as always. Late once and he'd be fired, no matter that he had been working here for 3 years. On payroll, he was just another immigrant working the shittiest job in the kitchen. I developed him, he's sort of like a rascal, a little bit younger than the other main character, Manuel. I have spent a number of years working in restaurants, and actually my husband is a chef himself. He started out as a dishwasher. So I based it a lot on characters that I have known, like real people that I have known working in kitchens. So I wanted him to be sort of the independent free spirit in the kitchen, like still looking for something. Manuel was based more on a lot of the families that I had known who did work in kitchens. And he's more of the other side of the coin to Jorge. He's the one who had a family and was working the job to provide for his family, whereas Jorge was still looking for something. Manuel had actually found something. So I wanted to contrast the two characters and have them come closer during the course of the story. Well, this story in particular was a flash fiction piece. I started out actually by writing a lot of short stories. So the amount of space you have in developing a character in a flash fiction or a short story, you have to say a lot by what you don't say. And since then, I've moved on to actually writing a lot more novels, books, and you get a lot more time to develop a character. So you can actually add a lot more of those details that you can't necessarily have in short stories. So it's given me more freedom, I think, to make really unique characters, hopefully. A lot of developing characters is actually focusing on their quirks and their flaws. So finding something that makes them unique. So something funny, a little bit, a little bit weird sometimes. And also not making them perfect, because perfect characters are super boring. No one wants to read about someone perfect because we all live such imperfect lives. So, for example, like adding some slang to language, making each character speak uniquely. And as to dialogue, not having complete grammatical sentences, giving them a little bit of flavor, like from where they've been, what their experiences are. Making each character have personal reasons to why they do things, not just, oh, this seems like a good reason. Sometimes people make a lot of decisions not because of good reasons. They make them because it seems like a good reason at the time. And that's just human nature. So having imperfect characters is probably the best way to make them relatable. One of the things that a character has to do to make the person really interesting through a course of a story, no matter how short or how long, is they have to have some sort of growth or epiphany. They have to change. Otherwise, they're static characters. So the characters that I think did this extraordinarily well, actually all the characters in this movie did, was In the movie Galaxy Quest, which is a sci-fi comedy, which I'm a total sucker for. I love comedies, love sci-fi. The main character, Commander Taggart, he starts out the movie as a complete asshole. And everyone hates him, and he just is focused on himself. And through the course of the movie, because he's challenged to actually look outside of himself, he becomes a better person, and he ends up, of course, it's a comedy, saving the day. So I think that's a very well-developed character in something that might not be seen seriously as maybe a literary story, but still very well done. I would love to give a shout out to my writing group, the Fairfield Scribes. Every writer can't work in a bubble. The best writing comes from collaboration, from people telling you what flaws you yourself have as a writer. And I depend on all my guys in the writing group, Fairfield Scribes. They're awesome, and they're also awesome writers.